Hi, Assalamualaikum and good evening to all my fellow friend and our beloved Ustad. Okay, today we will present you about determination of price based on Islamic and conventional perspective. Okay, and I would like to introduce you our teammates. Okay, the first one is Azmatan Adawiyah binti Mat Karim. The second one is Nur Amal Zahirah binti Muhammad Hairul Nizam, and the last one is Nur Ain Sofia binti Marzuki.
Assalamualaikum and Selamat Hari Raya. I am Nur Ain Sofia binti Marzuki from group IC 2103B. Okay. Now I would like to share with you all what is our objective for this presentation. Okay, first, to let us know about the determination of price based on Islamic and conventional perspective. Okay, second, to study the different determination of Islamic and conventional. And then, next, third, to discuss about the view of scholars about the determination of price and to explore the prohibition in pricing. Okay, and the last one, our objective is to discuss about the current issue and the relation of price based on Islamic and conventional perspective.
Muslim in world is 1.8 billion according to a study in 2015. This is show us that Muslims already have many strengths back then. All of this because they trust in Allah's word in Al-Quran that a good believer will get a great reward in hereafter. Same goes to marketing. We need to execute anything that related to marketing should based on Islamic guidance. So today we will discuss Islamic and conventional price determinations.
We go to sources. Wala si'ru ala ahdi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam faqalu ya Rasulullah sa'ir lana faqala inna Allah huwa musairu al-qabidu al-basitu ar-razaku wa inni la arju an alqa rabbi wa laysa ahadun minkum yatlabuni bimazlimatin fi damin wala mal. It means the companions then said to the apostle, O Rasulullah, set the price for us. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered, verily Allah is the one who set the price, who hold back, who make it easy, and the one who grant sustenance. Really, I wish I could meet God without anyone claiming me for the tyranny I did in blood matters and not in matters of wealth. Al-Hadith from Abu Dawud. Okay, this hadith from this hadith, the pricing is submitted to the natural market mechanism. This can be done if the market is a normal, in a normal state, which is problematic as not breaking God's law. But if the market is in unhealthy state of cruelty such as hoarding, robbery, corruption, and fraud, then the government must set reasonable price so that no one is harmed. Yeah.
According to Subramaniam and Kate on 2008 in their books Pengajian Perniagaan, which is price is the amount of money charged for a given product or service. In general, price is the sum of all the values that consumer exchange for the benefit of owning or using a product or service. Price is the only element of marketing mix that generates revenue, while all other elements are costs. Price is also one of the most flexible elements in marketing mix, as it is easy to adjust according to market fit. Okay, price is the value that buys a finite amount, weight, or other match of good or service. In other words, it also express the value of the goods product and the service rendered by factor of production such as land, labor, and capital. As a result, price determination is a great significance in the economy. Okay, definition of determination of price. Okay, determination of price means that determine the cost of goods sold and service rendered in the free market. In a free market, the force of demand and supply determine the price. The government should not intervene with the calculation of rate. However, government can interfere in the determination of price. For example, the government has a set minimum ceiling price for wheat. Okay, there are two kinds of quality calculation in fact. Okay, within the first type, value are calculated by nature force. Allah is rising and decreasing the cost of the goods. There can be no doubt or dispute regarding to this kind of price determination. Okay, for it is Allah that spreads people livelihoods, which is mean risk, and the price in this framework is determined by natural force. State policy is uncertain and prone to certain factors. Both Muslim academics believe that what price control entails is government action to decide price.
Would like to explain about purpose of pricing. Okay, the first one is about maintain survival. Maintain survival in the event that a company faces excessive production issues, a higher level of competition, or a change in consumer preference may determine the lower price of the company, setting the price by considering its expenses and profit. As long as prices are still able to cover some fixed costs and changes are made, the company can survive. Okay, that's about maintain survival. Okay, now we move to pursuing profit. Okay, pursuing profit, companies can set competitive prices for optimal profitability. The price decide must maximize profits, usually at a high price. It does by making demands on demand and cost for different price of goods and service. For example, like special items and new. Okay, now we go to maximum sales growth. Okay, maximum sales growth, companies can set low prices in target market to increase sales volume. Okay, grab the market share. Okay, companies can set low price to attract more consumers and gain market share of competitors. Earning attractiveness and gaining market share is also one of the company's goals in determining the price to be issued. A company must name its target and market power, so companies can determine the right price to release in the market, because setting the right price can also attract the market. Okay, get investment return or capital return. In addition to making a profit, a company also aims to recover business capital quickly. Companies are always looking for ways to get high return on investment. Therefore, the company is able to obtain net profit as originally intended. The way to get a high return on investment to get the maximum profit. To make a big profit, of course, the amount of sales that a company has to reach must be high. However, in order to achieve great sales figure, the company must not set high price that make the market unreachable. If that happen, instead of making a profit and doing ROI, the company could actually lose more money. Okay, product quality leader. The company wants to market the most valuable items in the market. The company choose high price. The company charge high price for its high performance and high R&D cost. Usually, it has its own target market, such as Ferrari cars, Rolex watch, and so on. Okay, lastly is about social goals. Social goal is non-profit organizations and public organizations use a number of other prize. Educational institutions that want to bear some of the cost still depend on the contribution of the public to cover some of the costs.
Okay, next we go to the next slide, which is the price determination based on views of scholars. Okay, first I choose Ibn Khaldun views. Ibn Khaldun split the product into two types, which is basic need and additional items. According to Ibn Khaldun, if it's a city and then the population is growing, it means a big city, so demand for basic goods is high demand. Consequently, the offer increase and this means price drop. Ibn Khaldun also explained the mechanism supply and demand in determining equilibrium prices. In more detail, he described the effect of competition between users to get the goods from the demand side. For Ibn Khaldun, price are the result of demand law and offering. The only exception to this law is the price is gold and silver, which is the standard of finances. Everything else subject to market fluctuation. If the item rarely and much demand, the price is high. If the item many, the price will be low. So the price is determined by the ability of the seller to provide the goods offered to the buyer and the ability of the buyer to get the goods from the seller. Okay. Okay, the next view scholar is Abu Yusuf. Abu Yusuf, he is a mufti of the Khalifah Harun al-Rashid. In his book, Al-Qarash, the first book on the tax system in Islam, and Abu Yusuf used to be the earliest scholar market mechanism. Cheap is not cheap. He said, cheap is not because a lot of food. Expensive or not causes lack of food. Abu Yusuf's opinion that the price does not depend on the offer demand. Therefore, a rise or all fall in price is not always associated with decrease and increase in production. Okay, the last of Euro scholars is Al-Ghazali. Al-Ghazali talk about available price, like that is determined by market practice. The concept later known as Saman al-Adlu. This means a reasonable price. Among Muslim scholars, or the price of equilibrium among contemporary scholars. Price equilibrium in economic perspective Islam is a price that has no negative effect. It's meant or dangerous for buyer or losers to market participant, both in terms of sales and to the buyers. Okay. The concept of fair prices is basically used since the beginning of the Islam presence. The Quran itself emphasizes justice in every aspect of human life. Therefore, fairness must be present in market activity, especially in the price determination.
Okay, factor of determination of price. Okay, the first one is product cost. Okay, product cost is the one of most important factor which is affect the price. Company need to set the price that will cover the cost of production, distribution, sale, and at the same time producing return at the commensurate with the effort and risk they incur. Okay, cost is a company is a very important element of the pricing strategy. Okay, firm with the lowest cost can set low price and will generate more sale and profit. It is include the total of fixed costs, variable costs, and semi-variable costs incurred through the production, distribution, and selling of the product. Okay, fixed costs refer to those costs which is still remain fixed at all the level of the production of or sale. Okay, example of period costs are general and administrative expenses such as rent, instance, salary, office supplies, and utility. Okay, variable costs are attributed to costs that are directly related to the level of production or sale. For example, the cost of raw production, apprenticeship expenses, and other semi-variable costs should take into account those costs which change with the rate of operation but not in direct proportion. Next, utility and demand. Okay, typically the end of consumer wants more commodity unit while the price is small and vice versa. At the other hand, where the market for a commodity is flexible, while variability in the price may result in major change in the quantity demanded. As we can see during Eid Mubarak, demand on raw products such as chicken, beef, and coconut milk get high demand on this thing. Okay, so the price were rising on Eid day from. Okay, this is one example for coconut milk that I my experience that the coconut milk price are rising from 13 ringgit to 16 ringgit on the Eid day. So the price were back as normal after second day of Eid. Okay, although the increase in price in inelastic, the market is not greatly impact. The fact the consumer is able to pay up the stage where he feels that value of the product is at least equal to the price paid. That is always the case. The price will decrease again toward the end of holiday season. That's good, being a hottest item only during that time. Okay, this is what we can. Okay, I can give you one example during our MCO, which is many people going to supermarket to get Nescafe and then to do a dalgona because one of famous barista shared the recipe on the YouTube, and then many people that share the dalgona recipe during our MCO. Okay, meanwhile the recipe is very very easy to do, which is they need just a Nescafe and then hot water and then a sugar. Okay, so our last point is government and legal regulation. Okay, firms with a monopoly on market typically demand a high price for their goods. In order to preserve the general interest, the government intervenes and control the price of goods. For this reason, certain goods are considered indispensable. For example, life-saving medic and others. This is what we can see that in hospital the price of medical and then the price of medicine are set by government. Okay, and then government intervene in market to address inefficiency. In an opportunity efficient market, resources are allocated to those who need them in amount they need. In efficient economies, that is not the case. Some may have too much resource, while others do not have enough. Okay, not all prices are under government's control, and it is also difficult to a government to determine the exact quantity of these goods and service. It must provide, and the price is must charge the public for their consumption. As a result, there is tendency in government to produce them. Because of produce less, would mean the decrease in the total quantity available for consumption along with possible reduction in public welfare.
Alright, we move to the next slide, and this is the prohibition in pricing. Okay, the first is tanajus element. Tanajus element is refer to the negative agreement. This means conspiracy silently between seller and buyer to show desire to buy with pay a higher price, when in fact the buyer does not want to buy the item. This approach aims to get people deceived and entice to buy, which in itself raises demand and sellers enjoy the highest bidding price for the seller. This condition often occurs in stock exchange or known or popular as a market manipulated by syndicate. Okay. The last point is the predatory pricing. Predatory pricing is the illegal act of setting prices low in an attempt to eliminate the competition. Predatory price violates interest law as it makes market more vulnerable to a monopoly. Effect of predatory pricing is a price war separate by predatory pricing can be favorable for consumer in the short run. The heightened competition may create a buyer's market in which the consumer enjoys not only lower price but also increased leverage and wider choice. Alright, that's all from me. Thank you.
Pawn shop premise invaded by customer. Okay, according to news reported by Berita Harian online on Tuesday, 5th May 2020, and written by Muhammad Farid Noor, that many people going out after our Prime Minister that Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin announced was lively with that conditional movement control order, which is CMCO, begin on 4th May. Almost all economic activity will be allowed to operate in a controlled and cautious manner. With this permission from our Prime Minister, almost all business permits and service open with customer lining up outside the premise, including post office, pawn shop, and auto accessories shop and others. Okay, most of the people go to the pawn shop to pay the wages and to the pawn shop, and most all of them want to pawn their gold to get money from that. This is because this is many reason many reason for them to get the money from they sold their gold. This is one of the reason is because our MCO, and then our Ramadan, and then our preparation for our Eid Raya. Because during MCO, many people doesn't have doesn't go to work, and then doesn't do they just didn't do anything at their home, so they laid off their money. So with they sell their gold, they will get the money. Okay, so most of the people this is based on Innovate Asia Berhad, head of Treasury Liu Kim Fung, said on April expectation of a spike is in price amid a weakening demand for precious metal worldwide, including Malaysia. He said the positive momentum of gold price was also driven by the pandemic health crisis, which triggered the closure of production operation by major exporter, as the gold industry was not an important commodity during MCO. He also said that CPP and the curve implement around the world has also caused the physical production of gold to stop, thus reducing supply in the market. Kim Fong saying the US moved to introduce stimulus package and erasing of economic policy to address COVID-19 also lead to the collapse of the US dollar and make gold a safer choice for investor. Commenting further, Kim Fong saying the US move to introduce stimulus package and economic policy liberalization to address COVID-19 also lead the collapse of the US dollar and make gold a safer option for investor. From this action, many people that many pawn shop make more than 2% for invest because not of all the customer aware of the action. So on 6 May 2020, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri bin Yaakob, currently serving as a senior minister for security and Minister of Defence Malaysia, said that people can report to Ministry of Housing and Local Government, which is KPKT, on the website or the application to make a report if the pawn shop make an interest more than 2%.
Conclusion, pricing is the process of pricing the product. This is a very complex process. Both internal and external environmental factors influence this pricing process. Price in a business is very important, especially to maintain business continuity. With good planning, you can determine the price that will benefit your business as well as the consumers. And beside, we know that it is Allah who determines the price of the item. Finally, we can see a bit of comparative pricing from an Islamic and conventional perspective.